pro day, correct?
Yes, 4.54.
And it was a 4.54 40-yard dash. So maybe he just didn't run it there because he didn't want to run it in both. But either way, 4.5 is respectable for a running back, so I like that. Why do you guys think that he hasn't been talked about as much as the other guys? Is there, like, I couldn't find
It's
that.
deep. The class is deep.
I couldn't find much, like a lot of negative stuff about him as far as like, oh, he can't do this or he can't do that. But nothing really stood out to where he was like overly great at anything. He was just really good at pretty much everything. He has good cutting ability, he's good vision. He's definitely a downhill runner. He can catch the ball. He played through injuries, which I love. He had 24 catches last year. So I don't know why he's not in the talk with the Sony Michel, Nick, Chubb, and everyone else.
There's a lot to like about him. I mean, when you watch the tape on him, there's a lot to like about this guy. He handled a huge workload at Auburn, so he could be like 3-down back. But the knock on him is that his durability. Like you said,
but he played through injury.
He played through injuries, but he has a smaller frame. Like he's got, we already said he's 5'11", 214, 215 pounds. But the durability is that going to catch up to him? It's a thin frame. Like when you look at him, he looks like a smaller guy than what that really. I'm not saying he's like a 5'7" like Donnell Pumphrey type. I'm saying that just if you look at him, like just his body of work, he's just a smaller guy, like a smaller frame.
I don't think he had too much work, at least not all throughout his career. He only really got thrust into the job because Cameron Petway got hurt.
Right, his last year.
So before that, he didn't really go. His first 2015, he only had 46 attempts, only like 173, but 250 the last year, and that's because the guy got injured. So it sounds like he's kind of stuck with some guys that may be more talented than him. I guess maybe seems kind of like a committee guy in a way.
Yeah, he definitely looks for contact though.
Yeah,
he's an upright runner. He doesn't really lower his head. And I don't have a lot of negatives on him, but that's a couple of things that kind of stood out to me was that he's an upright runner and he looks for contact, and with a smaller frame like he does have, he hasn't had durability issues, but down the road could that lead to durability issues. So I like him. That's why I say like he doesn't have any issues with me right now, but down the road.
Do you see him in a Dynasty rookie draft? Do you see him going in the first round?
I think he could go late first round.
Rashad Penny is on the is on the board with Kerryon Johnson. Which one do you like more, Penny or Johnson?
Today before the draft, I'd probably go Rashad Penny.
See, I think I would too, but
this is before the draft though. So what?
Right, but I'm just saying, who do you like better, like talent wise?
Penny, I have Penny ahead of Kerryon Johnson.
Okay, I mean, I think it's a toss up to coin flip for me. I think that the NFL comparison thing, where we always like to compare him to a superstar and whatever, I think Tevin Coleman is a great comparison. I think that he does a lot of the stuff that Tevin Coleman does. Thinner, like you said, thinner frame, I guess, kind of goes with that a little bit, but he can catch out of the backfield. He's an every down back, like you said, and he's big enough to not get pulled on the goal line, being 6 foot or 5'11" and 212. It's not like he's super undersized, so I can definitely see him being an every down back. And if somebody can get him like in the late in the second or early in the third round, the NFL draft, and he could be an every down back, I think he could potentially make a big splash, and I don't know why everyone's not talking him up.
Plus, he keeps his feet moving. Like when you watch the tape on him and he hits the line, he doesn't just go down on first contact. Like he keeps his feet churning, which is what they kind of like on the goal line. Like you hit that pile and you move the pile, and that's what he did in college. And not only is he an inside runner, but can also bounce it outside. So that's why I think, depending on where some of the receivers go that we've talked about, I think that he could land in the first round of Dynasty.
Like a back end first, right?
Yes, I wouldn't put him in the top 8. I put him in the back end.
It's because it's so running back heavy. Like there's so many decent or above average running backs coming out. Compared to the wide receiver talent. Like the wide receiver talent is not as strong as.
I think 2019 will be a better class for wide receivers.
Okay.
From what I've kind of like started digging up information wise, it looks like it's going to be a receiver heavy.
Maybe that's
2019
why
draft.
like Bryce Love stayed the extra year because it's going to be basically him and a couple other guys only coming out. He might be the top running back coming out.
Well, yeah, I think Bryce Love would have been a good prospect, but he's going to get lost in the shuffle because of all the other guys that you talked about.
Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe the reason why he's not as talked about, I guess, is 'cause I've read some kind of different things. There's a lot of stuff I'm reading that he's not undersized, like you were saying, Pumphrey or those tiny guys.
Wadley.
But he's kind of that same role in a way. He's not big enough to me, the size-wise. He's not big enough to be that every down guy pounding in there, and he does catch pretty well. He did catch pretty well that last season. I've seen comparisons more like Buck Allen-ish. Like he's a guy that can catch, and he's not tiny, and he can probably fill in spots.
But he's on like a big school, like an SEC big
the only
school.
reason he got in was because dude got hurt though.
But he didn't get the job back up to anybody. Just saying.
Well, you could throw a hurt guy out there, man. I mean, I think that's the way. He's always buried behind guys that were just a little bit better than him. I've seen a good quote is like "Jack of all trades, master of none." Like he's a good player, good football player, but maybe just doesn't really excel in one particular area. And I think he is just a little undersized to be that dude that's just carrying the rock.
To me, he's not going to be an immediate impact guy.
I don't think so either.
You know what I mean? Like when you look at the guys like Saquon Barkley, you look at Nick Chubb, you look at Sony Michel, you look at some of these bigger name guys. Those guys can be like immediate impact. I don't think Kerryon Johnson is going to be an immediate impact, but I think he could have a good career if he gets in the right situation.
Yeah, I don't know immediate impact, but I think that he could be every down back. Not to carry the workload rookie season, but I think eventually down the line. I don't know. I don't see anybody talking as much on him as anybody else. And now I started to look into it. I'm trying to find negatives on him. I watched a lot of tape, and they're saying the draft projection that he could go in the second round of the NFL draft. So they obviously, the NFL scouts or whoever's doing this, they said back end first to second round. If he's going to the back end first, like you're now putting him with the Sony Michels and the Chubbs and the Geis. I don't think he goes that high, but this is I've looked multiple different sources, and they all say second round.
I've seen third through fifth. I said that they see probably going to be around the third, but won't slide past the fifth. It's kind of what I've been seeing.
That makes more sense.
Nobody can kind of really come.
Right. It's like everyone can really put their finger on it.
Who is Kerryon Johnson? That's
Correct.
the question.
Right. I think he's one of the guys that we're now doing for a rookie spotlight on. That's kind of I don't really have a set thought on him of like I really want this guy or yeah I really like this guy or whatever it is. I think he was just like like it's Kerryon Johnson. Like yeah.
I think he's someone that if you take in a draft. He's not gonna wow you.
Right.
He's not gonna come into camp and wow you, but he could be an integral part of somebody's game plan. Like he could be someone that a team. That's why I'm hoping he goes in the right situation because guys like this, they get in the right situation, they look better than they actually are, and he's somebody that could surprise you, even though it's not the sexy pick. Mm-hmm. No one's gonna be like, "Wow, man, you snagged Kerryon Johnson like in a good pick." Yeah, no one's gonna say that.
But if the guy can catch, which he did it in college, and the guy is not like you just said, he doesn't go down at first contact, so he's tough to take down. He can run between the tackles. But he can block. I haven't read anything about that or seen anything that shows that he can't block. So he can block. He can run between the tackles. He doesn't go down at first contact. He can catch. Like it's all positive, and then it's like, yeah, it's just Kerryon Johnson. Like
it reminds me like last year, not the same kind of style. I'm not comparing the two as far as style-wise, but like Joe Williams last year.
Right.
When we went into the rookie draft, Joe Williams was a guy that was kind of all over the place. Mm-hmm. Like he could
Some
go
people
first
had him
round,
in the third round. Yeah.
He could go second round. You know what I mean? And he was in a situation where he was going to be behind Hyde, but at that point they didn't really have anything else behind Hyde. So it's like, okay, he's in a decent situation, and that's the way I kind of feel about Kerryon Johnson. He's like that Joe Williams type, and I'm not comparing the two running styles. I'm just saying like.
Right.
Where he's at.
Yeah, he's like no one really knows where this guy should go or where he should be.
This is a guy that can gain a lot of steam from the hype of where he goes.
Yeah.
But with Joe Williams, it was they don't like Shanahan doesn't like Hyde. He doesn't fit the scheme. So everybody's like, okay, cool. They kind of moved up to get Joe Williams.
Right. He's going to be next in line.
I remember all the whole narrative for him.
And Hyde, knowing that he only had 1 year left on his deal, everyone's like, oh, this is going to be the guy that's going to take over for Hyde after they cut him. And, I mean, that could still be the case. Who knows? He missed the whole entire season with injury, Joe Williams did. So, but yeah, I could see him going somewhere where he's not expected to be the guy right away. But I don't know. I think he's going to be a decent part to somebody's offense. And if he does go in the third round, then, I mean, hopefully that team already has an established running back that can kind of help him along. Because I think he's going to have a decent first crack at it kind of thing.
And that's why I say, like, in a rookie draft, when you're going to a dynasty rookie draft, he could go anywhere from the back end of the first to somewhere in the top of the second, middle second, kind of like Joe Williams did. It's the same exact situation. I think it's just
he doesn't fall out of the second.
Like the negative.
No. I think it's going to be early second.
Yeah, he doesn't make it to the end
or
of the second.
Late first, early second for Kerryon Johnson. Late first, early second.
Like the weaknesses or negatives that I'm seeing is not enough for me to knock him down at all. It's upright running style, like you said. he doesn't avoid enough punishing hits. Like, okay, that's going to happen. You're a running back. Maybe his hip tightness or like lateral cuts. I just, okay, like it's all just little things. There's nothing that's like, hey, he can't block, or hey, he goes down at first contact, or he can't catch, or he can't do this. Like, I just don't see enough negative where I'm going to knock him down. So I'm very confused on where to put him with the other group tiers of running backs that are coming out. I don't know exactly where he fits in, but if I can steal this guy in a rookie draft in the middle second or late second round as like the running back 8th or 9th guy going off the board, I'm happy with that.
I would be happy with that too. I don't think he's going to go that late.
Middle of the second round?
I think he goes late first, early second.
Okay. But yeah, I think wherever he does go is going to play a huge role into his, like you said, his hype train or his stock value. If he lands in the right situation to somebody, he's going to skyrocket. And let's say Cleveland Browns, Isaiah Crowell, we just read that he signed with the Jets, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now they do have a vacancy. Most likely they're going to take Saquon Barkley. Everyone's saying at the 101 or the 104. But let's just say in late second round or middle of second round, the Cleveland's got 3 second-round picks. They take Kerryon Johnson. Doesn't his value go up there? It's Kerryon Johnson, then you know that Duke Johnson's still going to be there for the third down and the passing. So all of a sudden now Kerryon Johnson is on a up-and-coming youthful offense with Gordon and Corey Coleman and Landry. I love that spot for him. So again, depends on where he goes for me, but as right now, I'm on the fence.
He's also been a decent kick returner too.
Yes,
so just reading some of the stuff, he actually chose Auburn over Alabama, and it was
huge mistake.
It was a big deal, and he was a top 5 running back prospect when he came out. He won Alabama's Mr. Football Award after his senior year. He ran for over 1,600 yards and 25 touchdowns. And they took home 3 straight state titles.
Played high school in Alabama.
Right.
So local.
And he couldn't win the job until a guy got hurt.
Right.
And it's interesting.
That's what I'm saying. He's all over the place.
Right. Yeah. So going back over everything, looks like he can do a little bit of everything, but he's not great at any. He's a jack of all trades kind of thing, but a master of none. Can we say?
Let's say it.
I mean, wait, did I do a haiku on him? Forgot to do my other one.
Oh. Yeah, where's your haikus, bro?
Yeah. I don't know. This is not that great.
Kerryon Johnson is...
No.
No. It's 575?
Yeah, it would be like, contact falls forward. That's one. Jack all trades, master of none. That was my 7 line. Pass catching, all good. That was my haiku. Contact falls forward, jack all trades, master of none. Pass catching, all good.
Haiku City.
Haiku. There's my haiku for Kerryon Johnson.
City, population 1 on that. Hopefully we don't lose any followers.
No, if anything, they got themselves a great laugh out of it. That was a positive, negative, positive. What's wrong?
What are you mad about?
You got everything. I wrapped up the entire 15 minutes in a 30-second haiku.
Not even 30 seconds, a 10-second haiku.
Well, I did it twice, making sure it was longer.
Sure
Anything else you guys want to add to Kerryon Johnson?
No, I'm actually okay on Kerryon.
I am interested to see where he goes in the draft.
I think that the next time we follow up with Kerryon Johnson for a month or 2 away, or maybe even 3 months before the season starts, we will have a whole different take on him because of his landing spot, and I think that we can elaborate a lot more on what we feel about him once we know the situation that he's in. I don't think it's a situation that he's going to be successful or not successful. I think it does depend on where he goes. Has a lot of weight to it. You agree?
I for some reason I just feel like the narrative might just keep going where he gets stuck somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and the only way he kind of gets thrust into it is late in the season because somebody
injuries,
went down with an injury.
or they're tanking, or not tanking, but they're seeing what they have and that type of thing. Yeah, I can see that too.
Like Arian Foster. Same way Arian Foster kind of did it.
Okay. Kerryon Johnson, Arian Foster, I guess.
Arion?
There you go.
All right, crack it.
Crack it.